The most crucial part of a successful design team is the one that is completely invisible. When it works perfectly, nobody notices it at all. And that is exactly the point. You see all these massive tech companies shipping beautiful, seamless products, and you think it is just because they hired a bunch of creative geniuses. But raw talent does not scale. What scales is design ops. Every design team starts out the exact same way. You have a couple of talented people moving incredibly fast. They are shipping features, the vibes are good, and the process is basically non-existent. It is loose, it is flexible, and it works perfectly fine for a little while. But then, the company grows. You hire more people. The product gets more complicated. And suddenly, that loose and flexible process becomes an absolute nightmare. You start seeing the exact same cracks in the foundation. Designers are wasting half their day just playing detective, trying to track down the right files, the latest decisions, or the context for why a button was moved 3 weeks ago. User research gets completely repeated because the insights from the last study were buried in a random document nobody can find. New hires show up and spend their first month totally lost because there is no onboarding structure. Stakeholders start losing their minds because the product feels completely inconsistent. And worst of all, the team starts burning out just trying to keep their heads above water. This is the exact moment where DesignOps has to step in. DesignOps is the work that makes the actual work happen. It is the systems, the habits, and the guardrails that let designers actually focus on solving problems instead of constantly fighting chaos. A lot of creatives hear the word operations and they immediately panic. They think it means corporate bureaucracy, endless meetings, and red tape that is going to kill their vibe. But real DesignOps is the exact opposite of that. It is not about adding friction, it is about completely removing it. It breaks down into a few really clear areas. First, it fixes how teams work together. That means setting up clear rhythms and expectations with the product and engineering teams. No more surprise handoff disasters where the developers build something that looks nothing like the prototype. Second, it changes how designers are actually supported. It creates real onboarding paths, clear ways to grow in your career, and shared standards for quality so you are not just guessing what good looks like. Third, it manages the actual work. We are talking about design systems, research libraries, and tools that are actually easy to use and easy to trust. And finally, it creates clear ways to connect design work to actual business outcomes, proving the value of the team. None of this limits your creativity. It absolutely protects it. When you have a solid operations foundation, designers actually get to spend their time designing. Teams can move incredibly fast without cutting corners. Your research actually builds up over time into a massive library of knowledge instead of just disappearing into the void. Most importantly, the design team stops relying on heroics. Pulling all-nighters and working weekends to ship a feature is not a badge of honor. It is a massive failure of process. DesignOps turns your team from a group of stressed-out heroes into a dependable, well-oiled capability. Investing in this stuff is the ultimate sign of maturity for a company. It means the organization has finally moved past treating design as an afterthought, where you just tell someone to make it look pretty at the very end. It means they have stopped relying on individual talent to save the day. Instead, they realize that design is core to how the business operates, that design decisions need to scale, and that design outcomes actually drive the business forward. That shift is quiet, but it changes everything. Bad operations will drown you in overhead. Good operations will make the overhead completely disappear. The goal is never to have more documentation just for the sake of it. The goal is total clarity. Clear priorities, clear ownership, and a clear path from having an insight to actually taking action. In an industry that is completely obsessed with speed, DesignOps is the only way teams actually stay fast over a long period of time. It is not flashy, it is never going to trend on social media, but it is the absolute difference between a team that burns out and a team that endures to make a massive impact.